trying to start the show, but we've been sitting here bullshitting. You wanted to do the show early today because you got like a turkey trot or some shit you have to do. And
it's not a turkey trot. The Westgate gives out. I actually have mine.
Oh, you're not running a 5K?
No, the Westgate gives the employees a free turkey. Huh. So for Thanksgiving, obviously. Actually, this one's for Ed Salmons. Ed doesn't need one. He's rich. I'll throw this in the trash. But they give the employees a free turkey, so we help them. We pass them out. So Mindy and myself will be out there, I think, from like 2 to 4:30 today, passing out turkeys. I'm not really going to throw Ed's in the trash. I'm going to give it to somebody else. Ed doesn't need it. But Kelly, so gracious, moved the showtime up to accommodate us. Even with your busy schedule, you run Hannity last night. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Well, that's the other reason why I was able to accommodate, because Clay is in Italy, so he had to move some other things. So I was like, oh, yeah, sure, John, I can move this for you. And then it kind of, all of a sudden I got a call yesterday and they're like, hey, we want you to appear on Hannity, probably because nobody else was available. And I said, cool, what are we talking about? And of course, I'm just now a full-on right-wing influencer. I'm just going to shove it all in.
What is the pecking order? If they want somebody, is it like Clay is first, and then I would imagine like Riley Gaines,
yeah.
And then what about that? What's that one girl? Tommy
Laren's probably up
Tommy
there.
Laren. Yeah. And then you're after those three
there's
people?
Probably like 12 other people in the mix. I was just the first one to probably say yes. I mean, it was fun. Everybody that's over 55 watches that show. So those are the people that called and text. Shout out to everybody. And then Ariel sent a screenshot of me. And they say the camera adds 10 pounds and then professional hair and makeup makes you look like a clown. And I'm like, thank you for that awful screenshot, Ariel. But she was just excited. I think it's fun. It's national TV. What are you going to do?
You need to give me a link to that because my mother is currently sailing through New Zealand. So I'm going to assume that she didn't see it.
Okay.
But I know she's going to want to see it when she'll be back in the United States on Monday. Get me a clip so I can share it with Mom, and maybe we can actually catch her in between her international travels long enough to
when
watch.
When I retire, I want to be your mother. It's going to be awesome.
She's a mover and shaker. Very excited. I'm really excited about having her here next week. I can't wait. But let's talk about last week first. You said something. We had a really long bullshit session there with Johnny Hoagland. But one of the things you said that I did find interesting, you said you really cleaned up last week.
Yeah, it's crazy. So a couple of things happened last week. So obviously I was in Aruba. Then flying home on Saturday, college football, Clay jinxed me. He said, aren't you worried about the Wi-Fi? I was like, no, the Wi-Fi is always fine. Get TV, no problem. Well, guess who didn't have Wi-Fi on their flight? So
what airline is this? Just so I know.
This was Southwest.
Southwest?
Usually I have no issues. And so I was like, oh, thank you so much, Clay. So I made friends with this lady. She went to Mississippi State.
Was it hold on a second. I have to stop you. Was it like a forced friendship where you forced yourself on her? Did she have a choice in this matter?
So what happened, so I'm usually like high A group, like right behind where you have to pay for A group, like A20, right? Because I only fly Southwest or Delta, and that's pretty much it. So I've got pretty good A list. I got the credit card since college. Like I got lots of points, whatever.
I'm the same way.
So it said we were boarding. So they say in Aruba, Crack and I talked about this on
Bill Krakenberger.
Yeah, we talked about it on our show on Monday. So the new thing at the Aruba airport is they have a concierge, right? And you can pay for it. Well, we tipped this cab driver early in the week. Ariel had used her prior, but I was like, hey, let me take good care of this lady because I kind of want her to pick us up and be there for us. And she already said, hey, I'm not picking you guys up at the casino at 2 a.m., but here's a great guy that you guys can use that works late. So we had no issues getting cabs or taxis all week. She takes us to the airport after.
What does this have to do with forcing yourself on this poor lady on the flight?
So I'm telling you. So she's like, but hey, you guys have to get to the airport 3 hours early. And I'm like, 3 hours? 3 hours is a long time. But then when we get there, she goes, oh, there's Leo, my guy that works for the concierge. Give him $50. He'll get you guys right in. Just like this. We got through the Aruba airport in 40 minutes. So what did we go do? We went to the wine bar. Well, my app said we were going to start boarding at 1:50. So I marked myself out there at 1:47.
Well, you guys aren't on the same. You're not on the same flight with Ariel, right?
No, she had to stay in the wine bar for like another 30 minutes. Poor her.
Oh, I'm sure that was a real sacrifice knowing her.
So I march out there. I get in line. I'm like, B. They're like, oh yeah, they already boarded A. I'm like, how did they already board A? So like I run up to the front. I'm like, hey, sorry. They scan my A. I get on, and of course, like the first 10 rows are already full. But there was an aisle seat next to this lady open, and I was like, do you mind if I sit in the aisle seat? She said, go ahead. So I didn't force myself.
That was her first mistake. That was the lady's first. At what point in the flight do you think the lady was like, shit, I wish I had said no to this crazy girl?
I don't know. We talked a lot. I mean, I feel like she definitely watches Hannity. So maybe she's like, oh, hey, I sat next to that chick on the flight. I don't know. But she was funny. We talked a lot about college football. But I didn't get my Westgate Super Contest picks in because I had no Wi-Fi. So Brett had to do it.
Oh, okay, good.
Which worked out really well because I would have went 1-4 and Brett went 3-2. So that was the first win of the weekend.
The Westgate, you're talking about the Super Contest, not the college.
Correct, because I did the college the day before.
You did college on
Friday. So before we went on the boat Friday, I made sure I had all my plays in. So that was easy. But I didn't really love the NFL card. I was kind of just like, oh, I'll do it Saturday morning or I'll do it at the airport. You got plenty of time. I got an alarm on my phone. But then there goes my alarm and I'm like, cool, I have no Wi-Fi. Luckily, they called Brett. Brett gave him 5. And I was like, I hate these plays. This is the way you think I pick NFL, and well, went 3-2.
Why didn't you say, hey, thanks for bailing me out, Brett?
I did.
Why? No, you didn't. You said, I hate these plays. Why didn't you say, hey, Brett, thanks. I'm out of the country for the millionth time. I'm not being responsible. Thanks for taking care of me, Brett. Why didn't you say that?
I did. I said it on the internet. He did a good job. It sucked because it was very close to 4-1, but the Commanders suck and the Raiders had absolutely no choice. But we'll get into that in a minute.
The Commanders do suck. Who the Commanders play? Oh, the Dolphins. They should have won that game.
They had so many opportunities.
They should have won that game. But go ahead.
Anyway, so I have no Wi-Fi on the flight. Then I got to drive 2.5 hours from Orlando home because I flew out of Orlando because it was a direct flight. So I get home. I'm exhausted. Sunday morning, I get your list of needs. Now, mind you, earlier in the week, I just put in a ton of teasers. I didn't play anything else other than the Panthers +4. That was it. So I wake up and I get all your needs and I'm like, I don't love any of this. I'm not playing anything. I'm just going to let my teasers roll. And every single one of my teasers won. And I think that's really great.
Did you have Lions teasers?
Yeah.
Oh, that was lucky.
Yeah, it was.
That was lucky.
Because Dan Campbell tried to absolutely fuck me over multiple times on those. But I also called you, if you remember, and I said, hey, John Murray. And you said, well, yeah, of course we need the Eagles because Ed Salmons works here.
It's Ed.
And so I found the cheapest money line. I laid 140 on Eagles. So I middled the game, if you will. Maybe
I will give Ed his turkey because I think we did okay in that game. But he's such a shameless homer. It's like I work with Jeff Sherman. And Jeff is a huge Lakers fan, but he's not like, he doesn't just like force us to need the Lakers in every game and every future the way Ed does. Like, we're all just forced to be these Philadelphia sports teams fans. I guess it did work out in February when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Fair enough.
So I probably shouldn't be complaining, but it is what it is. We had a pretty good Saturday. We did really well in college football. We didn't do well on the UFC. The UFC hurt us. We lost a lot on the main event of the UFC. Everybody was on that favorite. He rolled in that fight. Sunday was a weird day. It was one of those days that's hard to explain to finance because I tell them who we need in every game, and we won
so
more.
You tell them the same thing you tell us on last call. We need all these garbage teams.
I send an email out to Cammie.
Okay.
To the hierarchy here, the finance people. Here's a lot of them are football fans. Mm-hmm. Like our CFO is a big Bills fan.
But then
a lot
he knows
of them,
like who else they should be.
Well, she's a female, but a lot of them are. It's okay. A lot of them are football fans, so they want to know, and then they want to know who they're rooting for. And it's tough to explain when you win more games than you lose, but you still kind of have like a nothing day. And the reason was we lost every big game.
And you lost every teaser.
Buffalo, and we lost every team. Buffalo blows out Tampa Bay in the morning. That was terrible for us.
Sucked.
Baltimore comes back. Everybody's live betting and second half betting Baltimore.
Yeah.
They come back and win. We did really poorly because Green Bay won by exactly 7 against the Giants, which I thought was bad luck for us. So it wasn't a bad day necessarily. The Monday night game was no good.
Well,
The
yeah,
Monday night,
everybody's on the Cowboys
I ended up
and the over.
I was very lucky on Monday night. I got to go to the game in the Westgate suite. I got to sit with Cammie. She's asking me, what do we need? I go, well, we don't want Dallas in the over.
Well,
it goes Dallas in the over. So that was not a good game. Honestly, 80% Cowboy fans there.
I said 70%, and everybody told me I was crazy.
I mean, I don't know if it was just because they were cheering, like the Raiders fans had nothing to cheer for. Is that maybe it just seemed like there were more? It just felt like it was all people rooting for Dallas. So
here's the thing: who are Raiders fans? Or is anybody that you know that lives in Las Vegas? Like, right? So, like, I had
I have a bunch of friends that live in Las Vegas that are Raider fans.
They're actually Raiders fans, or they converted.
No, they've been Raider fans their whole life. I got like a handful of friends like that.
I know like 2 people that are Raiders fans. Yeah, I know a ton of Chiefs fans. I know a ton of Broncos fans.
You're from Kansas.
Yeah, but I'm just mean they're in the same division. I know quite a few I know more. How about this? I know more Chargers fans than I do Raiders fans. Like actual Raiders fans.
Well, I think the Raiders. How do I say this nicely? They need to get serious. They, as an organization, they need to get serious. They're hiring retread coaches, and they're letting those coaches bring in retread quarterbacks. They've got high draft picks that they're using on a running back. You can't use a high draft pick on a running back when you have needs all over the field. I mean, even Brock Bowers, who's awesome, he's a great tight end. But the Raiders have much bigger needs than tight end. They've got much bigger needs than running back. They need to get serious.
Yeah, you're not going to win games with Geno Smith.
Look at an organization like New England. They got serious. They drafted a quarterback. They
got a good head coach.
They hired a professional head coach, and then they used their.
Carroll's got a Super Bowl or 2, doesn't he?
But he's like 75 years old. Can you say that? I don't know if you can say that. But and then what did New England do? What did New England do in the draft? They drafted an offensive tackle to protect that quarterback.
Well, that's what the Chiefs did.
That's being serious.
From Central Michigan. He doesn't play for them anymore, but that's exactly what they did the year after they drafted Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you should do, I think. I'm not going to pretend like I could run an NFL team because I'm too stupid to do that. But I know that.
I mean, some of these guys.
I know that Geno Smith went to WVU. I'm a Geno Smith guy, but giving a 35-year-old guy who's been like a career fringe starter, fringe backup, a 3-year contract, and then drafting a running back when you've got all kinds of holes on the offensive line, they got to get serious.
One good guy on defense.
They got to get serious. Their tackling on Monday night was terrible, and it's a shame because I think I would like to see the Raiders be good because I think it'd be good for the city. Because right now I feel like it's all just people from the other team going to Allegiant Stadium.
But that's LA, right? That's when you go to Chargers games, when you go to Rams games.
Are Rams games like that? Sir, I don't know. I've never been to a Rams game.
The last Rams game I went to was like that. The last Chargers game I went to was like that.
Well, I know the Chargers are definitely like that. I don't know about the Rams. I think
the last Rams game I went to was actually at the soccer stadium. I wasn't even at SoFi now that I think about it.
I did an interview yesterday with Sam Panayotovich. You guys might know him at SB Shoot on X. Used to be Twitter. And we did a top 10 NFL teams. And it's actually a very interesting conversation because the number 1 through 10 are separated by like nothing. It's just so.
Who was your number 1?
We settled on the Rams being number 1.
Wow.
But if you look at the Rams, they were a 3 to 3.5 point favorite at home against Seattle on Sunday, and they won the game by 2. That's really how.
Well, I think that fourth quarter kind of got away from them. I mean,
okay,
if I had a Rams ticket, I would have been very happy. How about that?
I'm still saying that's what happened. The Rams. There's not a lot. If you said the best teams in the NFL are probably like in some order the Rams, the Eagles, the Bills. I think Baltimore. I have Baltimore higher than some of the guys.
Where would you put Kansas City? 8.
I think on this list that we gave to Sam, we had Kansas City I don't remember, but they were like in the middle of that top 10, like fifth or sixth. I think they're in there. Kansas City still plays to that high number. They were a 3.5, 4-point favorite at Denver on Sunday, even though the only successful offensive play they ran was close your eyes, throw the ball down the field, hope to get a pass
I
interference
thought
call.
Chiefs fans were going to get more mad at me for that, but even they know that's what it is.
It's true. That's all they did on Sunday. But I still would have to say, look at this week. They opened up like a 4.5. They're like a 4-point favorite. Now they're a 3.5-point favorite against Indianapolis. Indianapolis is one of the best teams in the NFL.
Did you hear your friends on ESPN say that the Colts should have opened as a favorite? That was my favorite.
Who said that?
My
friends on it. I don't know if I have.
Just saying what I heard. Listen,
who said that? I don't really watch. I don't watch
any of it either. But people I'll send you the clip that got sent to me, and I'm like, who employs these people? They know nothing about sports gambling. No, the Chiefs should not be underdogs at home in Arrowhead to the Colts. I am very high on the Colts this year. They've already cashed their season win total. I'm on the Chiefs on Sunday. It's my best bet that I gave out on Wager Talk. But the reality is, I've been betting against the Chiefs all season long. I took their under 11.5 wins. I took them no to make the playoffs. I'm not high on the Chiefs, but you are out of your mind to think that the Colts should be a favorite in Arrowhead.
Well, the Colts should not be favored in Arrowhead. I think people need to understand, too, that
I think they're going to be the biggest square dog of the week.
Just one result doesn't prove who should have been favored or who shouldn't have been favored.
Yeah, that's true, too. One game sample sizes.
Yeah, even if Indianapolis.
That's the thing, though. That's
what people need to understand is, like, look at Denver. Denver beat Kansas City on Sunday. They were like a 3.5, 4-point dog. If Kansas City and Denver played again this Sunday, Kansas City will be favored again.
Yeah, in Denver.
If Indianapolis beats the Chiefs on this coming Sunday, and they played again the week after, Kansas City would be favored again. So I think people sometimes they get too tied into one result.
Patriots fans got really mad at me because I said that I thought that they were just a little. I just need them to hamper their expectations just a little bit. They haven't really played anybody. I said that the Bears were the biggest overachievers, which some may call frauds. But
wait. Hold on. Stop.
My Broncos are number 2.
Stop it right now. What? We have 2 producers on our show, Johnny Hoagland and Louis D'Onofrio.
And I'm a Broncos fan. All 3.
And what are their teams? Johnny's a Bears fan. Louis is a Patriots fan. That's why you're negative about it. You're a hater.
And they're all 3 frauds. Look.
I don't know about that. I think New England.
No, that's a SuperBook helmet, I think. Yeah.
New England won a game in Buffalo on a Sunday night. I was impressed when they won.
That was a great win. They won at Tampa Bay. That was a great win.
They won at Tampa Bay. So what do you want from them?
Okay, that's fine. But
They're winning every game.
This team is going to maybe win a playoff game, and that is better.
That's a pretty good season. That's a pretty good season.
But stop with this like insanity that you're going to win the fucking Super Bowl. Like, stop it.
Well, I think
the fans are realistic and understand they're not going to win the goddamn Super Bowl.
I think that the AFC is a lot more open than the NFC. I think the NFC's got some really good teams at the top of it. The AFC, I don't really know how good Buffalo is. They have Josh Allen, and I've said for years I think he's the best player in the league. I do think that. But
do you think that maybe they've gotten a little past?
I think they've got a lot of problems on defense. I don't trust their coach. I don't trust McDermott. McDermott has consistently messed up big situations in playoff games for years. Fair. I don't think they have some array of weapons on their team. I think Baltimore is a much better team than Buffalo. I don't know. Baltimore's got to get everybody healthy, if that's even possible. But I think Baltimore's better than the Buffalo is. But could New England or Denver get the number 1 seed and parlay that into a couple of home playoff wins and get to the Super Bowl? Yes, they could. Why not? I mean, why couldn't they win at home against these other teams? I don't think there's that much separating these teams. Although when we did the top 10, me and Sam, I can tell you,
were there Patriots in your top 10?
They were number 10, and Denver was not in it.
I wouldn't put Denver in it either.
Denver was not in it. Denver we did not have.
Would you put Chicago in it?
Chicago was not considered.
Thank you.
All right, come on, Chicago. I like.
Listen, You're over here saying I'm a hater, but then you're
You
not
are a
putting in
hater.
your top 10 either.
But you know why I think you're a hater? Because look at the enjoyment you get out of it. You get a lot of enjoyment out of
I
sticking.
literally am over
You're
here
twisting the
saying
knife,
I do not
KIV.
believe.
You're twisting the knife. You got
Ugh.
these two nice young men that produce our show, and you love to give them shit.
One of them just logged on, and we're 20 minutes into the fucking show.
Is that right, Louis?
Yeah.
We were supposed to start like 50 minutes ago. What's the matter with this kid?
No shit.
We should fire this kid.
I've tried, and you won't let me.
I won't. I love him. I can't let you do it. I can't.
I'm
I love
not inviting him out for March Madness.
I'll invite him out. I'll get him a hotel room.
Why
don't we go?
Maybe you should give him the clubhouse, since I can't get you to commit to giving me the clubhouse.
I gave it to you for Saturday of March Madness. Let's talk about the college plays. I think this is a really weak college football card, honestly. Like,
Yeah, that's why I just started picking like some longer shot dogs, because the dogs in the touchdown range are just not that desirable. Like USC, I don't want to look at. I'm not going to be able to make a case for USC. I'm hearing Lincoln Riley's trying to go to Baylor. Why on earth would he take the Baylor job?
What? Baylor? What are you talking about?
Well,
Listen,
I'm just going off what the internet is saying. Sometimes you hear rumors like I was like, no way Lane Kiffin's going to Baton Rouge. Now on Bet Online, Lane Kiffin -$2 to go to LSU. What?
Is that correct?
Wow. Yes. And I'm like, why would he take the LSU job? What is he doing?
Isn't the answer money?
Okay, yes.
I would think that's probably what it is.
The answer is money, but who has more money? LSU or Florida? They all got money. I'm sure Ole Miss has money.
Well, I think they all have money. The question is, who's gonna support the team? I could argue right now that one of the best jobs in college football and probably college basketball is Texas Tech, because that guy, that billionaire kid, he spends all of his money, not all of his money. He's worth like $4 billion, but he spends a lot of his money on the sports programs there. And now all of a sudden, Texas Tech is really good in football and basketball.
Weird.
So I would say that Texas Tech is a great job. I've never been to Lubbock.
How long is he going to spend that money without seeing national championships?
From what I've read about him, he's worth like $4 billion, and this is what he wants to do with his time and money, is make those programs great. Okay. So probably a lot of runway. Okay. Now,
I guess that's just my thing. Like, I feel like Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin can win 8 to 11 games, make the college football playoff every couple of years. They could probably care less if he wins an SEC championship. Yeah. It's a lot cushier of a job, where I think you've got 3 years maximum at Florida or LSU before, if you're not playing for a national championship, those people are going to riot.
And I think if you look at what Penn State did firing James Franklin, I wouldn't want to go to Penn State.
No shit. You know what James Franklin said? And I forget this because people love to make fun of Manhattan, Kansas being a less desirable location. Okay. What?
Why'd you go like this? Why'd you do the air quotes?
Because guess what? I didn't know State College didn't have a fucking airport.
I just think that I feel like I think I read that he had, I forget the numbers, but he had some really high number of 9-win seasons. He'd played in 6 of the New Year's 6 bowl games. He won 1 Big Ten title.
Yeah, but he couldn't beat top 25 teams, just like Steve Sarkisian can't beat top 10 teams.
But where do you, I mean, I'm not saying that he's like the greatest coach ever. I'm just saying, if you're Penn State, what is the level that you expect to be at? You were in the national semifinal last year. That game came down to the last possession. And I don't think they did him many favors. You know, they're playing in this Big Ten now, so they have this super emotional game against Oregon, which they lose in overtime. Then the next week, they've got to fly to LA to play UCLA. And then they lose that game somehow, which is ridiculous. And then they got to fly back across the country because the Big Ten somehow involves a Los Angeles team, multiple Los Angeles teams. I don't even know why I care, because I care less about James Franklin. But you're forcing me to defend him. It's funny
because I remember
I'm being forced to defend this guy.
When we brought in West Virginia, the first team into the Big 12, when I think it was like A&M and Mizzou left for the SEC. Yeah. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, the travel! We can't drive to Morgantown." And it was kind of annoying that we had to fly to Pittsburgh. It's not an easy place to fly from Manhattan, Kansas to Pittsburgh. You got to go to Manhattan to Chicago, or Manhattan to Dallas. It's not easy. Now, granted, the football team flies direct, but it is weird because that's only like a 2.5-hour flight. Going from State College, where you got to drive to Harrisburg, to fly to Los Angeles, to then go to, the Coliseum. It's not an easy travel. That's like 5 or 6 hours, 7 hours with the travel versus 4.
I don't know why I'm defending James Franklin. I could care less. But I do. I think that you consider the year that they had last season. They were in the Big Ten championship game. They won a college football playoff game. They made it to the national semifinal. Obviously, this season was incredibly disappointing. But doesn't he have any goodwill built up in Penn State?
He should.
Apparently not.
I got a donor mad at me. He was texting me. He's like, "Hey, I'm at this donor event." And I said, "Well, I think Chris Kleiman's probably going to retire at the end of this year. Gene Taylor, our athletic director, might retire at the end of this year. We'll see." I go, "It's been a really exhausting year as a K-State fan, between the basketball team sucking, now the football team sucks. The basketball
it's November 20th. It's November 20th. The basketball team.
Last year's, last year.
Oh, last year.
Okay. 2025, the basketball team just did not. They didn't make the postseason. It just was not good. Like, I could see where it's just like, you get all this money, you spend all this money on NIL, and it's not good enough, right? This is the new era of college sports. Yeah. So we were just kind of chatting, and he was like throwing out these athletic directors that are unproven head coaches, and I go, I would take James Franklin over every single one of them. And he goes, "Are you out of your mind?" And I'm like,
What?
How would you not take James? And then, of course, he went to Virginia Tech. But
well, I think it was
I don't understand it. And I'm not some James Franklin fan by any means.
Neither, but I think it was a great hire for Virginia Tech. My brother went to Virginia. My brother went to Virginia Tech. He says that James Franklin has been beating Virginia Tech to every recruit in that area of the country for the last 10-ish years. It's a great hire for Virginia because there's just levels to
awesome college environment.
Well, there's levels to how big your program is. For Virginia Tech to land James Franklin, that's a coup. If LSU hired James Franklin, maybe they'd be disappointed. There's just different levels to the program.
It's the same thing as when they hired Brian Kelly. Everybody's like, "What? What are you doing?" Why would
nobody? Apparently, I guess nobody likes Brian Kelly. Do you? Let's.
I guess. Well, I don't understand what is likable about him.
On the topic of Brian Kelly, before I run through these sharp plays, I know that's what everybody wants, but I have to ask again: why is it controversial? And why are people crying about it on social media, other than the fact that people are just basically crybabies? Why is it controversial that a 10-2 Notre Dame team would be a lock to make the playoff? How is that even debatable?
Because they're pissed off that if you compare their resume to Miami's and Miami won, they're pissed off that Notre Dame gets in.
Okay. I mean, I guess
because
they
don't play anybody. Beating Boston College, like, at least I'll say this, at least the BCS rankings had a mathematical equation to them. Now it's like the coaches in the AP, and I just don't think, and the college football committee, like, we've agreed. Heisman people just throw numbers out there. We saw that one woman get crushed because she basically admitted that she doesn't watch the games. So, like, she put some team over another team, and everybody
I remember that.
berated her. And it's like, well, that's because you're a fucking dingbat. Like, if you actually watch the sport, you deserve to have a vote.
I've heard this argument be made by gambling people for a long time. They say, it should just be set by the people that make the odds. They know who the best teams are. Well,
no, because you losers would just put in all the SEC teams and say, well, they all play each other.
SEC, I'm talking about Notre Dame.
I know.
If you don't think Notre Dame is one of the 12 highest power rated teams in the country, are you joking?
They are now.
What else matters besides now?
Well, they weren't after they lost to Miami.
When they were favored at Miami week 1, they were favored in that game. When they were a 6.5-point favorite at home against Texas A&M, they have been in the top 12 power ratings all year long, all season. To even have a conversation about them not being
in. Give me your top 12 power rated teams. Go.
I don't know it off the top of my head, Kelly, but Notre Dame is obviously in the top 12. Are you actually arguing? Are you arguing that Notre Dame is not in the top 12? Are you saying? Then what are we talking about?
Okay, let them in.
What are we talking about?
Let them in. All I'm saying is that you still have to win the games on the field, regardless of what your power ratings are. And
I know. I heard this, but I heard this song and dance about them last year, and then they beat Indiana, Georgia, and Penn State in the playoff.
Yeah.
Did they not?
Yeah.
So what is the argument?
I'm telling you because what college football viewers and what you're seeing on the internet is they want to say Team X beat Team B. You just said it in the NFL segment, right? The Chiefs would still be favored over Denver if they played again this Sunday in Denver. Notre Dame would still be favored over Miami in Miami if they played again on Saturday.
Oh, they would, yeah.
That doesn't mean they're going to win the game.
They would be more of a favorite now. They're playing to a much higher number now.
And I think the reality is people don't live that way. They say week 1, team A beat team B. It's not fair. That's how they live. So
life isn't fair.
Me, I'm not arguing with you. I'm simply
life isn't fair. Oh my God. I think
there must be an emergency. Chris Thurston is blowing me up right now. I wonder if Lane Kiffin's going to LSU.
Every year there's some really bad arguments about who shouldn't be in the college football playoff, who shouldn't get into the NCAA tournament. Hey, Chris, I think arguing that Notre Dame shouldn't be in the playoff if they finish 10-2 with their power rating is one of the worst arguments I've ever heard for that just is ridiculous.
Again, I'm not saying they shouldn't be in. You asked me why people were crying on the internet.
That is a bad question by me. I'll take the blame for that. Everyone
you didn't
cries
say,
on the
Kelly, why do you
think? No,
it's
true. You're right. And that's a bad question.
I understand from a fan perspective, people that don't work with power ratings, people that aren't using spreads, people that aren't using advanced metrics, if you will, that they are using their eyeballs and say team A is team better than team B because A, B, C equals X. Like whatever reason that they have formulated in their brain, right? That's like saying Florida State is better than Alabama, which we all know is not.
Yeah, of course
because
not.
Alabama lost as a 2-touchdown favorite in Tallahassee. It does not mean
that loss looks worse and worse, by the way.
Worse and worse.
I agree with that.
But look how much better Alabama's gone. I don't think Alabama's a top 12 team by any means.
They'd be one of the 12
power rated that way.
They'd certainly be one of the 12 highest power rated teams.
Yeah, but I don't think they are.
Okay.
I don't think that they deserve to get in.
I'm not. I don't know about that. I'd have to look through their schedules. I'm just saying they did win at Georgia. That's a pretty good win.
Okay.
Georgia, I think, is the team right now that is most on the uptick. They got a lot of athletes on offense this year. It's kind of a reverse Georgia team where the early Kirby Smart years they had that great defense and all those guys that went to the NFL. Now it's like they've flipped it over to where they've got all these athletes on offense. They're pretty tough. You know, I think people forget that when Notre Dame and Georgia played in the quarterfinal last year, Notre Dame actually went off favored in that game. I'm pretty sure.
That's right.
That would not be the case this season. You know, Georgia looks pretty good. Do you want to do? I got some sharp plays Friday night here at Allegiant. I saw some money on UNLV -3 against Hawaii. Hawaii's had a phenomenal season. In the Big 12, they bet Oklahoma State plus 14.5 and 14. They're at Central Florida. They bet Nebraska, plus 9 at Penn State in lovely Happy Valley. They took Oregon -9.5. They bet Oregon up to 10. Oregon is at home against USC in a game. Am I wrong here? The winner will make the playoff. Like if USC won that game, would they be getting into the playoff? Oregon certainly would be.
That's interesting.
And then Wisconsin plus 9.5. They play Illinois. Wisconsin, I think, from my understanding, is like the poster child of the downside of the NIL era because they were such a great program for such a long time. But from what I've heard, they're not willing to spend the money the way a Texas Tech does. And that's why they are in the situation that they're in. It's really weird to see Wisconsin so down in football.
Yeah, I don't understand how Luke Fickell just got renewed. But I guess they just realized they're not going to get better.
I think it's because of that. I think it's because they've recognized that it's unwinnable when you're not spending all this money. What are you supposed to do? That's the reality of college
money.
But are they willing to spend it?
That's not.
What's your best bet?
It's Oklahoma State.
Oh, good. Okay. Oklahoma State. What's the Chuckle Rumham play?
Well, actually, I guess technically the Chuckle Rumham play, I did it backwards on Bet on it. I actually like Oklahoma State more than I like Maryland, but I like Maryland to possibly spring the upset over Michigan. Michigan's got Ohio State on deck. And then I like Kentucky. I think Vanderbilt's kind of seen some serious regression. 9.5's a lot for a really good defense. And the road team just keeps winning in that series. So have to sprinkle a little bit on the Kentucky money line. But my parlay is not going to hit because you won't boost it to the correct odds. So
good call by you. First of all, I don't care about that. I have my team. My guy Jacob Palermo tells me what the odds.
But you can say, Jake, make it 125-1. Kelly already tweeted it.
Why'd you already tweet it?
Okay, because here's how I do it. I give out a couple legs on Bet on it. Then I put the parlay together. I live in Florida. I have one app that I get a bet through here legally, right? So I put
you're looking at another sportsbook's odds.
Okay, and it connects to my Pickett Sports. Then I post it on Pickett. So if you want to go see it early, then my parlay video comes out on Friday. But every Wednesday night or early Thursday morning, I text you. I go off better than the odds at Hard Rock because your odds are always better than the odds at Hard Rock. And Hard Rock was 123-1. So I just said, John Murray, can you give me 125-1? I tweeted it because you've never said no in the last 2 seasons. And now you say, Kelly, it's 110-1 here. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
It's 105-1 here. I'll talk to Jay. I don't know. Maybe
it's not going to hit. Just give everybody 125-1.
I don't even know what the 3 teams are, to be honest.
I just told you Kentucky, Oklahoma State, and Maryland.
I wasn't paying attention.
It's not going to hit. Just give people 125-1.
I'll talk to Jake. It's up to Jake. He does it.
There's 0% chance of this hitting.
Jake replaced. We used to have this kid that worked here. I think his name was Andrew something or other. He used to do it for me. I don't remember.
And Andrew is the best because that's why I never got any pushback. Who the fuck is this Jake kid? Where's this pushback?
He's smart. Jake's doing a job. He's a smart kid.
It's not going to win. Just make it 125-1.
I'll talk to Jake, but this is really his call. This is out of my hands.
Oh, sure.
NFL. Isn't it nice that the Europe games are over? We lost every Europe game. I hated them all.
Why are we doing this?
I hated every one of them.
And now college football is going to Brazil.
We talked about it, I think, earlier on this show, how we won more games than we lost last week, but we lost all the ones we really needed. That was one we could have used. If the Redskins could have won the game outright, which they should have, that would have been a nice win for us on Sunday morning in Madrid. They didn't. We lost. This week, they bet. I think the first thing I said, I had to come in here on Monday, and I said, when I walked into the risk room, the first thing I said to the risk team was, why are the Saints and the Falcons playing at 1:25 on Sunday afternoon? That game is dog shit. Exact quote. But they bet the Saints.
It's been teasing every single game. I refuse to tease that game.
They bet the Saints pick them.
What to even make of it. Is a perfect teaser spot for the Saints? No, not doing it.
They bet Saints pick them. We're now at Saints 2.5. They bet the Raiders.
Now I can tease the Falcons. Son of a bitch.
They bet the Raiders -3 and -3 juiced. They're at home against Cleveland. I don't know how you can bet on the Raiders, to be honest with you, but I know Shedeur Sanders.
Remember last time I bet on the Raiders as a favorite versus the Bears? Yeah, that was cool.
I don't remember that, but I'm sure you lost. And then they bet Arizona +3. Arizona is +3 at home against Jacksonville. Kelly said her best bet is Kansas City. I saw money on the Colts when the line was higher. Like look-ahead numbers. They took 4.5 with Indianapolis. Don't have anything. I did see one play that I respected on Tampa +7. Tampa that's the Sunday night game. They're in LA to play the Rams. So Tampa +7, nothing on the Monday night game, and nothing really on Philly-Dallas. That'll be the big afternoon game. Kind of a similar setup to last week with the Kansas City-Denver game, where people are like, why is it only 3.5? Well, the answer is
I like Dallas.
Well, Philadelphia doesn't score a lot of points. Philadelphia is very good, but they don't score a lot of points. Dallas does score a lot of points.
Dallas's defense looked really good because they played the Raiders.
Well, they were playing the Raiders, so I don't want to get too carried away there. But what about Kelly twisted my arm? I love Kelly, but she twists my arm a lot. She convinced me to do Splash Sports Survivor with my friend Joff, who's a very, very well-off person in the Northern Virginia area, very, very wealthy,
Well,
and
I
our
had
friend
already
Chris
entered the splash
Thurston.
contest myself, and then he was like, "Hey, can we enter?" And I'm like, "I'm in Aruba. You're gonna have to do it
Right.
yourself."
So Joff,
And then he said he was only doing it if John Murray did it. So I
Joff
didn't.
said that.
Yeah, him
Oh.
and Chris are partners, and they said we're only doing it if John Murray does it.
Well, we had excellent. Thanks, guys. We had New England and Pittsburgh last week. Pittsburgh was
Yay!
good. That was a good pick. So we've got to pick 2 games every week. Is that a fact?
Yes.
And what do you want to do this week, Kelly?
We're going Lions and Ravens. We have to. It's too easy.
But don't you think? I mean, I don't know the schedules the way you guys do, but aren't there going to be a lot of opportunities to use the Ravens?
Yeah, of course there is. But they're not going to be any better than 13.5-point favorites versus the Jets.
Ravens are 13.5-point favorite. It's a revenge game. Tyrod Taylor revenge spot in Baltimore. Lions are a 10-point favorite against the New York Football Giants, who kind of let me down last week. You know,
Didn't they cover the 7.5?
I went 3-1-1 in circa millions. The line was Giants +7. Thought I should have gone 4-1. I thought the Giants should have covered that game against Green Bay. Okay, so we're gonna do Lions, Ravens. What else do you need from me?
I mean, I'll ask them. right now. We're going Lions, Ravens. I just don't see another
spot. What about Seattle's a 13-point favorite against Tennessee? What's wrong with that?
Or Seahawks.
Well, what other questions?
Yeah, they are, but are the Titans gonna fuck around and win one more game? Probably.
Maybe. Although I think Seattle's very good.
Yeah, but they just had a hard-fought game in the division. Now they got to go to Tennessee. Hold on. Let me see who they got next week. Next week, Seattle has no teams are on a bye. Ooh. Next week is Thanksgiving, and Seattle plays the Minnesota Vikings. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, we wouldn't use that. Although I do think. Do you think it's funny that J.J. McCarthy has called himself 9? That's a running joke here. Another interception by 9. You can't nickname yourself. You can't nickname yourself.
You can't. It's really cringe.
Although Kobe Bryant did. And he was such a great player that nobody cared. He called himself the Black Mamba. And he was just so good.
I never knew that. I assumed that he did not.
No, he got away with it because he was so good.
Okay. Good for him.
JJ McCarthy is no Kobe Bryant. I'll tell you that much.
No, he's not.
He's not. He's not even close. Do you want to do the mailbag segment?
No, because we don't have any mailbag. Let me see. I forgot to tweet it back yesterday, and so
John sent us a few questions here.
Did he send me? Where?
He emailed it to us at 11:22 a.m. 2:22 your time. I think.
Let's see.
I gotta say,
like Dexter asked me, "Did you get a hot flash on national television last night?" I'm like, "What?" I looked really
very.
I get fired up if you guys see when I talk. I get all fired up. I also get fired up when I drink, so maybe I looked really red. Let's see. Splash is doing a profit boost tonight. $5 no sweat. I did hit one of those on Sunday. That was fun. I just bet a bunch of guys to throw an interception. Won $60 off free $5. Yeah, but I don't really care about any of these.
You don't want to do the questions?
I should have retweeted it. It's my fault. I didn't. Okay, how about this? TS Finky, he wants to know if there's a way to check the standings of the SuperBook Nevada NFL win totals contest, right?
Yeah,
so
you know what? We've gotten that question online. Well, we've gotten that question a lot. It's a good question because we get it because we also, Ray runs the contest for us. He does a very good job. But we have the NFL season wins contest. We have the NBA season wins contest. We have the Major League Baseball season wins contest. They're all relatively popular. How do you, and I'm not saying this rhetorically or I'm not my typical smug delivery. I'm being serious. How could you have standings for that?
Well, right now you could say.
Could you say these teams are on pace?
Well, for example, if anybody bet the Colts season win total over, they have a win. If they bet the under, they have a loss. If they bet the Patriots over, they have a win.
Yeah.
If they bet the under, they have a loss.
So you do the ones that have already clinched? I mean, I'm not even asking I'm not even asking
can't do it until starting right now when teams are starting to win.
But how helpful would that information?
One more game, I catch that under.
How helpful would that information be? Okay, these 4 have been decided, but the other 28 are still going. What would be the purpose of that?
I don't know.
I'm asking seriously. If somebody can
Ask
explain,
him. He can
if
answer.
somebody can explain to me a logical way to do it, we'll look into doing it. I don't really know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. So next week we're doing a show on Tuesday for Thanksgiving. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I'll see you in like 5 days.
5 days. We'll do a Thanksgiving spectacular, and we'll go through the NFL games. And it's Kelly's birthday,
Yeah.
so it'll be a very spot.
I actually think I'm
Hopefully,
going to go have a couple of glasses of wine before the show because
go
I've
ahead.
got a couple of different things going on that day. I got people in town, and my girlfriend Stephanie's like, "Hey, I want to take you out for your birthday." I'm like, "Oh, I got the show." And she goes, "How about we go to lunch?" I'm like, "Oh boy, 2 margarita lunch. I'll have to Uber home."
Well, I can move the show around for you if there's a time that's better for
No,
you.
because then we got dinner with Chris Thurston and his wife Amanda.
Okay.
There's a lot of moving parts. So I already booked lunch. I told her I'm going to come see her for lunchtime, and I'll try to keep it.
Well, I've got a lovely date that night. Mom, we'll be at Mother Wolf. We'll probably, maybe if you have time, I don't want to bother you and Brett, but maybe we'll FaceTime you a happy
Oh
birthday.
yes, I would love that.
Okay, but I don't want to bother you and Brett. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you on Tuesday to
Okay.
go through Thanksgiving.